Welcome everybody back to another banger episode of Scaranoia. It is I, Hugs. I'm along with Jared and Chris as always, and today we're jumping into it right away with why the 2010 remake of Nightmare on Elm Street was actually good.
So you see,
Crispy, give me your 5 reasons why it was the best.
It was not the best at all.
okay, Crispy, you think the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street is bad? Explain why. Explain why. I'll wait. Because Robert Englund wasn't in it.
It has nothing to do with Robert Englund not being in it. It has everything to do with the fact that they completely changed the whole Freddy Krueger backstory from being a child murderer to being a... They turned him into a sissy. The acting was subpar at best. The whole concept, I didn't like it because I guess the modernization of it. You know what I mean? Let's look up online and there's this kid who's live blogging on his YouTube channel about the effects that he's going through in the nightmare. I don't know.
Boo-hoo. Get over it.
And Jackie Earle Haley sucked. Okay.
No, oh my God, he's better than Robert Englund.
You better watch your mouth.
He's better than Robert Englund.
So, as you can tell, as we're starting this episode, we have some hot takes. We're kicking off 2025 with some hot takes. We're going to talk horror. We're going to talk conspiracy. My hot take on this is none of Nightmare on Elm Street is good, and it is not even one of the better franchises in horror.
It's not even
I am. I'm also a Halloween fan. I think anything in Leatherface world is better than Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's all horrible. I think Child's Play is also horrible.
Yeah, so
I think both of those are the bottom two. I think.
Sorry, they're not found footage.
Friday the 13th is mid-level.
I agree. I agree with that.
But still above
I haven't seen
Nightmare
enough
on Elm
Friday
Street
13th,
Child's Play.
alright, so I'm not even gonna.
But you're thinking about it at least, yeah. So I would say it goes Paranormal Activity #1, obviously, the best of all time, the greatest franchise in the history of horror and found footage in both categories. But talking classic horror, Halloween is #1.
No, Nightmare on Elm Street. Dude.
Nightmare on Elm Street's #7.
No, not even Scream, actually. My favorite franchise is the Evil Dead franchise.
I would put Evil Dead above Nightmare on Elm Street, too. There's so many things I put above Nightmare on Elm Street.
What is your beef with Nightmare on Elm Street, Hugs? I'm very curious.
I don't like the characters. The only thing that I like about it, I like the fact of it's in their dreams. I thought that's a cool concept, and it's really messed up. But I never really enjoyed the characters. I always thought it was really cheesy, campy. It's just not my style. Same with Child's Play.
But just as your point for OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? How it was great for its time. I feel the same about Nightmare on Elm Street. That time period, it was a very unique and of its kind concept that wasn't really what, Jared?
You know what? I'll agree with you. It was a movie.
And also, speaking of hot takes, I don't really mean that Jackie Earle Haley's better than Robert Englund, because he's not. But if you think that Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is bad, would you have been pissed if it was a shot-for-shot remake? You people, soft horror movie fans, you are the softest people I have ever met.
I'm not saying.
Speaking of,
I'm not saying. Hold on, I want to respond. I'm not saying it should have been a shot-for-shot remake, but just in the same that Rob Zombie did with Halloween and putting his own spin on it while still keeping true to the story. That's what I would have wanted to see, rather than, yeah. Pick it up somewhere.
So Crispy's Crispy's attempt at trying to make his take a good one is admirable.
I'm not even gonna argue it.
But speaking of soft TikTok, soft horror talk, shout out to the recent team of TikTok horror cult that attempted to cancel Jared due to his opinion of Nosferatu. I do want to talk about this, speaking of hot takes, because we kind of differ on this. I do not make horror content on TikTok. I did make one review one time just because Jared is so horribly wrong about Leatherface or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I don't care enough about Nosferatu to make a whole video, but I do want to talk about it here with you. Jared, obviously you had some really strong opinions about Nosferatu. What were your opinions? What happened with soft horror talk? I'm
Okay,
curious.
so number one, talking about Nosferatu, I will say this. I will talk about the positives. That it was absolutely beautifully. The cinematography in it is probably, it's by far the best cinematography all year. That's no question, no question about that. If you think the cinematography is not good, you're dumb. I will say that. The Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok was phenomenal too. Like that was like the scenes he was in was like the only scenes that were good though. Like that, and then the end credits obviously was really good too. But but it's probably just off my review and the people that complained about my review that said I was telling people to pirate the film. No, that's not what I meant by it, clowns. What I meant by it, that it was so bad, do not waste your money to go into the theater and watch that pile of garbage. Because it was really, really, really bad. One of the top 10 worst movies of the year. Like, honestly, we need to just quit going and watching Robert Eggers movies. They need to come straight to streaming because they're all long 50-year long movies. That's how long it felt like I was in that theater for. I'm in 2027 now.
So I do want to give my review of this because I actually felt a little different. My biggest concern was the movie could have been like 30 minutes shorter. If the movie was 30 minutes shorter, it could have hit the same plot points. It could have built the same tension, and just had a better pacing to it, in my opinion. But otherwise, I agree. It was a beautiful film. The Orlok character design was really interesting, as well as and of course there will be spoilers. These are reviews and whatever. So jump ahead like 10 minutes if you don't want to hear this. But the sound of him feeding was such a visceral,
I will say that, yep.
Because it would go silent in the background, then you hear like he's literally like imbibing like large amounts of their blood at a time. Like it was like gorging. It was a very visceral sound. That, and I can't believe you didn't mention this because it was one of the most visceral and gory parts of the entire movie. Not only did I enjoy Orlok, I enjoyed the person who plays like Connect or something, his underling, the Lord of Rats, which that's why you didn't like Nosferatu. It's because the rats. Let's be honest.
Dude,
okay?
I was covering my
rats
eyes
all throughout.
when I was in theaters. I was covering my eyes. I can't deal
You
with that.
probably didn't watch like 40% of the movie, but when his underling bites the head off of the pigeon. That is like the most gory, like it was just so. Anytime someone gets bit in the movie, it's not like the cheesy like vampire bite, whatever. Like someone's flesh, you like see get ripped off with their like. It was just
so it's
very
like Jared with a
interesting how
turkey
that was
leg on
done.
Thanksgiving.
Very much so, very much so. But it was absolutely beautiful. Do I think it was a little slower pace than I would have liked? Yeah, but that's really the only thing. If they had cut like a half hour out, it would have been like a 9 out of 10 movie.
No.
Otherwise, like high 7.
Now, Jared, I know you said one of your problems with it was the timing as well. Do you agree that if they would have cut a certain amount of time out, that you would have liked it more? Or
I think if they would have cut out every scene that Bill Skarsgård wasn't in, it would have been a fantastic movie. And also, if I wanted to watch like a vampire getting his rocks off, like I've seen vampires getting their rocks off on a better site anyways.
Well, so what did you not like the underling? I thought the underling was really well done. I thought like the crazed like cult vibe. I dug it because I like the occult.
See, I've never been big in that. Like, I'm not big in like religious horror, big into cult horror, like none of that really. Um, it was just not good. It was slow. Like I just felt like I'm someone. I will admit, I don't like artsy because it was artsy. Like it definitely was an artsy horror.
Well, it was like gothic horror.
Yeah, it was gothic horror. I don't like artsy, slow movies, and if that makes me only like movies that are fast-paced and gory, so be it. But the problem that I had with people is the same people that were complaining that I was calling them names and stuff went around and called me Big Al.
So I will.
Now,
No,
in
look.
fairness, I co-signed the Big Al. Like, okay,
I did too. That was pretty funny.
I used to look like the captain from Wally.
Look,
Okay, and
I will
embraced
say that,
it,
okay,
right?
because as somebody just like you, we were in the comments. I also had a few videos cut on me too from these people because I jumped to Jared's defense because Jared's my best friend, and I was just like, y'all need to chill out because a lot of people's biggest issues was that he said anybody who likes it is an idiot, and I'm like, how are you gonna take that to heart posting content on the internet, like.
My
Go. You got the most experience on.
No, I'm saying my one question was for all these people, especially on HorrorTok. These people make horror movie reviews. Imagine if Count Orlok made a review on his own movie. Like, it would be the most offensive shit. Like, this is supposed to be the place where the weirdos and like the outcasts go, and this is supposed to be the place that embraces that type of edgy, content and stuff like that. So it just shocks me how quickly people can't take entertainment.
Exactly. So and yeah, those same people who were getting mad at him for calling them all idiots and stuff were directly attacking his content, his appearance, like all kinds of different things.
All true.
I'll never forget the one, Jared, though, the blanket video that you went massively viral with. Like,
it's about to hit 20K.
It's at 20. Dude, when I got home,
It's
it was
almost
like
at
13.
20K.
Holy cow. Yeah, there was like one guy that made a comment about the blanket covering up the trash, and I was like, dude, I went to this dude's page. He literally has a video for like 20, 30 seconds where he just meows. And I'm not talking like a gimmicky meow. No, he sounds like a literal cat. It's not a sound. So
Speaking of meows.
Oh my god.
It's 20 minutes away, Crispy, as we film this right now. 20 minutes away.
Yeah, it is currently almost New Year's Eastern time.
Wait, Jared, what time is it right now for you?
It is 11:40.
11:40.
Oh man, we cannot forget the mass unfollowing of X-Bolts at 11:59 Eastern.
Shout out to that man though, because he has like 8 million.
He doesn't anymore.
He dropped, the last time I looked,
he dropped down to 6.4. People have already started unfollowing.
He hit right before we filmed. He was at 6.1.
He will.
He'll still keep so many.
Honestly, one of the greatest marketing things because he's gotten everybody from I saw the Maury Show do something, the Brooklyn Nets, the NFL as a whole. Yeah. Every major content creator on TikTok.
Mr. Beast did
videos with him directly.
Yep.
Oh man,
yep.
It's
awesome. He embraced it, and he really, if anything, he got a lot of followers and a lot of attention to him. I didn't know who Vex was.
I had no clue who he was until
I knew him barely.
And I'm not gonna unfollow
I just knew that he
was. I barely knew him.
He was the Let Him Cook. When he's the guy who made Let Him Cook.
When he said he was the Let Him Cook, I didn't know he was that guy.
But I'm participating for sure. I will be.
So that's another hot take. I'm not unfollowing him. I like him.
I mean, I like him
I'm not
too,
unfollowing him. I'm letting him cook. Cook.
I'm going with the masses right now, and if they want to leave him in.
Oh, are you? Is that what we do, Chris? Is that who we are? We follow the masses.
Look,
Jared,
if Mr. B says to do it, bro.
No.
Beast runs
Am I supposed to reach out to what's his name? Chuck, the guy who am I supposed to reach out to him? And...
Shout out Taylor Complains though. We love you, dog.
Oh yeah, 100%. Shout out Taylor Complains. Shout out to Mangoes. I do want to say this, okay? Hot take conspiracies. I believe in Atlantis. I believe a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, where we're talking about the aliens in the ocean, they had this whole thing with the congressional hearings, and then the second one they talked a lot more about that there's aliens in the ocean, whatever, blah blah blah. We have talked about this before, that I believe that mermaids could be real, and theoretically Atlantis. That explains exactly what I've talked about this whole time.
Yep.
If there's all these people that have said forever, that they see humanoids in the ocean and stuff like that, and the story goes way back, my whole thing about dragons, if people all over the world, they're telling the same story across all different places that never really came together, there's got to be something to it.
Yeah, I get that for sure. And
So that's my hot take. That is what that whole Atlantis, that whole like mermaid thing.
Do you think the
is
mermaids
attached
are
to
the
these
aliens
that are
in
from
the ocean?
I don't even know necessarily that they're mermaids, but I believe
Some form
like
of
that
sea
it's people
creature?
that like humanoids. Well, because even in the congressional hearing and some of the stuff, the videos I've seen afterwards, people say like some of them are humanoid, like they look like us.
Yeah. Damn. All right. All right. All
I
right.
think I believe in Atlantis too. Like I really like. So I'm starting to also think more and more that aliens come from the ocean as well. Like just the way stuff's been
That and
coming out.
interdimensional.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to talk about this because this is the craziest thing I've seen. So, have you seen how they talked about the interdimensional creatures and like, because they were talking about these pill-shaped, I guess ships. I don't know what term to say. They say it's like a living form almost, but like those plasmoids, the fact that they look like they're moving so fast, they're not actually moving that fast. They're moving
Oh,
dimensionally.
damn.
So it's like they don't move through time. They just exist in a different location. Like
Okay.
it's hard to explain,
Yeah.
but like that's why they look like they shift so weirdly and that they're like all over and they can move like mass distances and like all like cuz you would think if it was something moving that fast, you'd
Hmm.
be taking thousands of G's of like, gravitational like it would slam, you know what I mean? Whereas like it just like exists in the new zone. Yeah, look it up. But it's very interesting to read about and to watch some of these videos because it also says that's what like accounts for like the weird movement is because it's not actually moving in time like that.
I think.
It goes hand in hand with like the quantum
Yeah.
computing thing and like
Hmm.
multiple
Yeah. I was
existence.
like,
Like
as you were
it's all
saying that, that's kind of the connect.
interdimensional,
That's
all
where my
very.
brain was going with it. I was like, oh shit. Okay. Like,
Uh,
it's amazing.
but there's been a lot of stuff. I was reading a lot more about the drone stuff too, and they said the drones were coming from the water. So like
Yeah, I
they're
heard
saying
that
that
too.
was another thing.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
And we know what's going on. Like literally, Trump says the government knows what's happening. I think it was the White House speaker said like they know what it is, but they're just not going to talk about it. Like, so what is it? Like the whole world's talking about these damn drones.
I feel like people doing their own independent research are figuring out way more than the government wants you to know. So
that's why they're
Oh
banning
yeah,
Tik. That's why they want to ban TikTok. Not to
I was
get
gonna
there's a
say
like,
ever since the
conspiracy
age of
theory
the
right
internet.
there. I fully
not
agree
to
with you.
get bunker, not to get like a bunker like in the middle of nowhere conspiracy theories. But that's literally why they're
I
banning
could
want to
see
ban
that. I could
TikTok.
see that. But then my question
Yeah.
is though, what would be like would
What
they go after
Zuckerberg
YouTube
owns?
next? Because TikTok's great, especially but for short form, and a lot of people are massively using it.
It's the
Yeah,
algorithm. That's what it
yeah.
is.
YouTube doesn't have that
TikTok
same
is different in a
algorithm.
way. TikTok is different in a way because the algorithm, the way that it like connects like-minded people is
Yeah,
insane. The quickness of you posting something to finding your direct audience is unlike
yeah.
any other algorithm on any other social media. So like YouTube is more like SEO based, and a lot more of like traditional social media is like SEO based. It's very like
Search
website
engine optimization.
algorithm based.
I'm just
Yeah,
glad I
it's
knew
like
what
website
that stood
based,
for.
but it's more like a search engine based. Whereas like the TikTok algorithm is its own thing. It's so drastically different. That's why they're afraid of it.
Because they can't control it. That's why.
Yeah. I like the secret
No, because
crispy
like
having conversation. My
I have
Marco's face.
something like down here, and I'm like, I'm making faces.
I thought you were talking. I thought you were like, I am currently on a
No,
podcast. So I
no,
can't
because I'm
talk
not
right now.
muted. So no, I just had I
I
had
don't
something
know.
stuck in my lip, and I was like, I don't want to sit there and just be like, that looks weird. So I'm like,
I did that one podcast. I think it was a G2 Cap. I was just like sucking my bottom lip the entire time because I had like something
Bet
in
you
my
you were.
teeth.
I bet you were.
Hey, it's because it must have been yours, Jared.
I wish.
So what else do we want to talk about? Nosferatu, I thought was pretty good. Jared disliked. We talked soft talk. As far as like hot takes, I can't think of any other conspiracy hot takes. Do you guys have any conspiracy hot takes?
Not
um,
really conspiracy, you know. Like, I don't feel like hot takes with conspiracy don't go hand to hand. You know what I mean? 'Cause
I think
conspiracy.
a conspiracy is a hot
Yeah.
take. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Conspiracy
like,
is a hot take already. I got some horror ones.
yeah, throw them out.
Well, obviously the first one, if you know me, Halloween 1978, dog water trash.
Is a phenomenal film. I agree. Oh,
Jared's like, gotcha,
damn.
bitch.
Um, Pet Cemetery 2 better than Pet Cemetery 1.
Both of them better than Nightmare on Elm Street.
I would go the second one, yeah. It's better than the original
I love
Nightmare
the
on Elm
second
Street,
one
yeah.
for sure. 100% agree with you there. Like, don't get me wrong, first one was phenomenal, but the second one, loved everything about it. And I'm a big Edward Furlong fan, so
I have a potential hot take. The Gene Wilder Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a horror movie.
I believe it. I 100% believe it. Because you notice how in the Johnny Depp version, they expanded on it to show that these kids actually left the factory. We don't see that in Gene Wilder. All we know is one kid gets sucked up a chocolate tube, one goes off to be juiced, one falls down a duck chute for bad eggs, and the other kid got shrink to this size.
If they would have changed the score, like it made the songs
Oh, dude.
different or creepier, easily a horror
Yeah.
movie.
Dude, even just that,
For sure.
that one scene of going down like the river,
And
iconic,
he's singing,
and yeah, that
yeah.
whole like, there's no one, like I was like, even as a
Yeah.
child, I'm freaking out, and then the scenes that they're putting up in the background and stuff were just crazy.
And I don't know if you guys have a height phobia. I have a height phobia. So the elevator thing was definitely like a horror
You're just like,
trope
huh?
for me. But yeah, I'm like, this is my nightmare. I will have nightmares about this.
I'm like
No, I'm not scared
50-50.
of
I
heights,
do and I
man.
don't. Like I don't know, like looking at something on screen and seeing people high gives me like heavy anxiety. Like people that climb tall buildings and shit. I'm like, I feel like
Bro.
I'm there, but like I don't know. Like I can, I can be in a plane. I can be high. Well, I think I'm physically there too. I'd freak out if I'm like close enough to see. That's why I never like to take window seats in planes, because if I look out and I can see that land, oh my god.
I found his name. I wanted to make sure I knew what his name was. So there's this dude named Nick Wallenda. Have you guys ever heard of this guy? He's like an acrobat and like whatever, I don't know what the proper term is for it, but he like crossed like the Grand Canyon or something. Like I know he does like the high wire stuff.
I
He
heard
did like
about
buildings
that.
in Chicago, but like he was on TV and he was like crossing. I want to say it was like the Grand Canyon, but he was crossing it and he's like praying like the whole time, and I'm like, that is the most tense I've been in my entire life watching something on TV, because like Joel Osteen or something came out, was like standing there like praying for him, and he's like praying as he's like crossing the thing, and like he like kneels down in between. Bro, I'm like, this man's gonna die on live TV. Like this is insanity.
Because the whole
This
point is they do
why
those
would they
things
do
with like
this?
no safety net or anything, and
Yeah. His other family members had like died. Like two of the other one, like the father and the grandfather, whatever, like had both died or something. So it's like, it's wild, bro.
that's crazy.
Dude. Like, I'm not scared of heights, but I wouldn't do that. There's just like no way, like
You
look
could-
at me.
Well, yeah, I'm not scared of driving, but I'm not gonna go NASCAR.
Oh, I would. I would, bro.
Raise
I
hell,
would
praise
drive
hell.
a
As
NASCAR.
soon as I'm going more than like 120, 130, I'm gonna start.
Look, I'm just gonna
peeing
say,
myself,
with as
freaking out.
on the subject of NASCAR and Jared's favorite NASCAR driver, Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. Jared Holmes is the intimidator of HorrorTok.
Are you not talking about our Lord and Savior Jeff Gordon?
Bro, that made me so. I hated that gimmick, man. Tiny Stewart for the win, man.
I'm not even a fan of NASCAR, but I just love doing the meme of someone that loves Jeff Gordon, because my dad used to work at a place that was attached to a DuPont. What was Jeff Gordon's like main people?
DuPont, yeah.
Was he a DuPont guy? Yeah. So they were attached to like a DuPont paint place, so they had Jeff Gordon stuff. But anyway, more hot takes. What were we talking about before this?
Pet Cemetery.
We were talking about that. What was I just explaining? I was explaining something.
Acrobatic guy.
Oh, the acrobat. That's the other thing I wanted to ask about. Do you guys, because this is why I have like a kind of a height thing. Do you guys get the intrusive thoughts? Like I've been to Grand Canyon, I've been to like, whatever, like really
I'm
tall
all like, what
buildings,
if I
shit like
jumped
that.
off?
Do you ever get those like, huh, huh,
Yeah, all the time, and
huh?
I hate that, bro. That's what gives me like big bridges, bro. Like when I'm going across or walking across some I like towards the end of summer we took this trip to Crescent City out here. It's a big like mountain, foresty area, and they have these things called the Trees of Mystery that you can go like hike through and stuff. Well, part of it is this
The trees of
they're all the big
mystery.
like redwoods, But part of the course is kind of like a ropes course, so to speak, and you walk across these thin little bridges, and you're like it's like an 80 feet in the air, and there's just planks and like whatever rope that they have on the side and stuff, and you're not connecting anything, but it's like a net kind of. And my whole time I'm just thinking, I'm like, what if I just you know? But
Huh?
then I got more anxiety, so it's like, I'm like okay, okay, like.
Bro, I thought I was gonna die at the Grand
I couldn't
Canyon. I went to
imagine.
Grand Canyon and cause we went to the side where there weren't like the bars in front of it. Like you're literally just
Yeah.
standing on the edge, and I'm like, the whole time, like I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall.
I don't know if I could do that. I
That
just.
was Jared trying to push me.
No,
Jared
well,
trying to
no,
push me
there's
hard.
a
Jared's like
fly
from all
that's
the way
been
in West
annoying me
Virginia.
for
He's
the
like,
last two. Push them.
Bro, there was remember that the big gamble gnat that existed for like the
yeah.
first 4 episodes of this fucking
That's what,
thing?
it's back, I think. That one, like it's nowhere else in the house. There is only one net in the entire house, and it's always just buzzes to me. As soon as I turn this camera on, I think it comes after
It's the
my
big gamble gnat.
ring light, man.
It's the big gamble gnat. I'm telling you.
You
I got
definitely.
a
The big
I
gnat.
got a good horror hot take,
Okay.
and it's that 2025 is going to be a terrible year for horror movies
Is that why
because
you've
most,
challenged yourself to watch every single horror movie in 2025?
yeah,
Because he loves disappointment.
because the most of the movies announced are all sequels. Right? There's just a few non-sequels that has been announced. Like I'm excited for Oz Perkins' Monkey that comes out in February. The guy that made Long
I have
Legs.
no idea what you just said.
Monkey?
What was that? Somebody's monkey?
Oz Perkins, the dude that did Long Legs, is coming out with another featured film called The Monkey in February. I'm excited for.
Oh, okay. So it's just called The Monkey, but that's the name of the person making the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Okay. That's what was confusing. I was like, is that literally the name of the thing? Is it like Occam's razor? Like,
You know
Because
what I
like
always find
it's a
interesting?
logic
This
joke.
is a random, just little jump off thought from what he just said. You know what I always find interesting though is that when you talk about a movie, right, and it's and like itself, you always attach the director to it because I get it. The directing is like probably the one of the most important roles. But as somebody who loves to like write stuff, I feel like the writer is the most important person in any movie. So the fact that we attach the director's name to it and not the writer is just wild.
Well, sometimes, like, it bears stating specifically if it is the writing or it is the like cinematography. Because sometimes it's like, let's look at something like Night of the Living Dead. Okay, one of my favorite movies of all time, the original black and white from like I think it's like '68 or something, right? But like, not the best writing.
True. And
But
I
George
guess one
Romero,
that kind of defeats that is Bram Stoker's Dracula. So there's the. I've never really watched it, so
better than Nosferatu.
you know what though? John Carpenter's vampire is better than Nosferatu,
I agree.
in my
The
opinion.
greatest vampire movies
Okay,
is The Lost Boys. It's not even close.
I I love it.
John Carpenter's vampire is better. Than
I
that,
love
in my
it because I'm the one who got Jared to watch The Lost Boys, and he had zero expectations of it being good at all, and then walked away. Just that's in his top 5 now. Like,
Yeah, of all
I'm not
time.
a huge fan of the Coreys or
why don't you
whatever.
like the Coreys?
I don't know. I think it's because I saw him in reality TV later on before.
You can't separate the two. Like,
Sometimes you can't. Sometimes, like, when they're that like iconic of a meme of a
So
person,
that's
like
me.
I wear my sunglasses at night
That's
type of
me with
thing,
like Dustin Diamond, bro. Like after seeing what kind of
Yeah.
person he was outside of Saved by the Bell, I just was like, I can't watch it the same.
That's me as Ian Malcolm. Fucking whatever his name is. I can't remember his name. He's in The Fly. I call him Ian Malcolm. I can't think of his.
Jeff
Oh,
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. I will always forever call him Ian Malcolm. I don't know why. Like I have tried to
Every I
call. I,
oh, go ahead.
I tried to do a video about him the other day, and it took me 22 attempts at least because I kept on saying, "What is Ian Malcolm's name in Jurassic Park?"
I feel like there's definitely those actors that will always have that one role that like defines their career to that point to where it's like that's what you'll always remember them for, and you find yourself doing that, calling them, that name and stuff. Like,
Michael Scott.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Or
Steve Carell's always Michael
yeah,
Scott now.
no, and
I
just
don't
like
care.
Rainn
See,
Wilson will forever be Dwight. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't even know Michael. I didn't even know Steve Carell was Michael Scott. I always just knew him as Michael Scott, and I don't even. And I think The Office is one of the most blandest form of comedies out there. Hot take, by the way, not horror hot take, but
Well,
hot
what do
take.
you even think is good comedy then?
raunchy
Raunchy,
comedy.
disgusting.
So like Benny Hill. You ever seen Benny Hill? I
No.
feel like he would enjoy that. It was like old school. I don't even know what he.
Yeah,
would
he
be
loves like the
considered,
Van
but it's like old
Wilders,
school
American
raunchy horror.
Pies, and there has to be boobies. There has to be boobies for Jared to like it. Like, let's just call it for what it is. Like, but yeah, no, for sure. Like,
Crispy, do you have any horror hot takes?
horror hot. Well, I feel like I've already given you guys one to start this whole show off with me saying that Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is trash.
A hot take has to be something that most people don't say. It. Most people say that the 2010's Nightmare on Elm Street is trash. So therefore, that's you
Okay, that's
just
not bad.
jumping on the bandwagon with
I
all
wasn't
these
jumping on the
people.
bandwagon. I felt that way since that movie came out in
No, you
2010.
didn't. No, you didn't. You was
You
told to
want to
say
bet
that.
money, bro? Oh my god! I wish
You got paid.
I got paid. Oh
Are you
man,
whoa,
if I got paid,
whoa. Is this a Chuck and Larry situation?
if I got paid, then I'm missing my check. But yeah, no. Horror
Do
movie.
you have any other hot takes?
Horror movie hot takes.
Or conspiracy hot takes, whatever? Jared's horrible Nosferatu review led to an entire episode being about hot
This
takes.
is true. This is true.
Hey, I'm
I
producing
think
content for the podcast.
I think as iconic as Jason Voorhees is, he's probably one of the most overrated serial killer, like overrated like movie villain killers of all time. Like I
I
feel like
agree.
people like I don't know. I just feel like people glaze him too much. There's been way too many movies. It's not needed. Even though he was a part of one of my favorite movies of all time, was Freddy versus Jason, which I thought was phenomenal.
Happy New Year, by the way, Jared.
Hey, it's still 38 seconds right here. I got the ball drop
you
right
gotta,
here.
you gotta
Oh,
go and follow Vexbolt.
it's got 11.
Hold on.
It's got 11 right now. I refuse to unfollow Vexbolt. But anyway, it showed 11 o'clock and I had a thing go off on my watch, so I just wanted to make sure to wish you a Happy New Year's once it was. Is it New Year's yet? What do we got? What's our countdown?
We got 17 seconds. That here in 15 seconds, I've been doing this podcast since last year, guys.
Wow. Bro.
We have been on this podcast right now since last year.
Yeah.
We have done one
right.
episode in 2 years. 2 years time.
In 2 years. That is true.
That's right. But another
man,
good horror a good. Hey, Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. There you go.
But to go off yours, Crispy, about Friday the 13th being trash. The Friday the 13th game shut down today, and that's one of the most saddest things
that
of
game
all
was
time.
that game was great.
I didn't get to play it in its last day because I worked all day today, but I just remember like early high school years, end of middle school years. I come home all the time. I'm sorry, I'm young, and played that game, and there were so many good memories from like trolling Jason to just taking the car and leaving before anyone else
when
gets
that
there from the
static
whole
would
lobby.
hit, when that static would hit though, It was always like a jump scare for me. Like when he would get close
Dude.
and it would just
Bro,
go, and I'm like, I'd freeze up every time.
bro, that audio though, whatever you call it, where it's like the close audio proximity chat, was like a COD lobby though. Let's be
Oh, it
honest.
was.
Like it was.
It definitely was,
I
for
feel
sure.
like
I said some.
anywhere that you have proximity chat like that is gonna be the same. Like just the most
But it should
unhinged.
be. You know what I mean? It should be. Like, that's how I see it. It should be. It's fun.
Hot take. But hopefully, here's to seeing him in DVD then.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the lawsuit just ended, I believe, earlier this year, late last year. Well, earlier 2024 now.
But with it ending, with the game server finally shutting down and the game finally ending, I hope that opens up him being able to come to DVD.
He
Bro,
was
could
in.
you imagine
He's
his
supposed to come to
kill
Fortnite. He was
with his
supposed to come to
brain?
Fortnite in October this past year, but they had to pivot very fast to Jigsaw because for Jason, like the writer's so weird. Like, I don't know if y'all have read into the. I followed the lawsuit since it's happened. Like, Victor Miller has like Jason as a kid and Pamela and the Jason name, but I can't remember. Platinum Duns or whatever. I'm probably getting that wrong. Has like the Friday the 13th name and Jason's hockey mask. So like it's so weird like how they
Look, you
get
could get
like.
those names wrong. The fact that you know this much about it is already phenomenal to me because I had no idea.
I followed it since like the lawsuit happened because I played the game and they said, oh, we can't do no more updates because of the lawsuit. And we
Yeah.
had no
I was
Jason movies.
I was excited for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, but that wasn't
It's
as good as it could have been.
no, I'm so tired of these asymmetric. I think we've had this conversation
We
before.
did when we
I don't
did the
know if it was
video
on the
game
podcast,
episode. Yeah, we talked
but
about that.
my audio was terrible, so no one could hear me. So, um, I'm so tired of the asymmetrical horror games, man. Like, DVD is where it's at. No one's gonna touch DVD. Like, let's be honest. Let's try one of these horror games out here. Like, let's give it a story. Let's like go like full the Corey with it. Like, I
Yeah.
love the Corey. You know.
Until Dawn was also really good. Um,
I liked Bloodborne, but that was kind of like a DVD. I don't know how to explain that, but I'm also a big fan of like zombie stuff. So like, I play 7 Days to Die and things like that a lot. So I've been playing COD Zombies a lot.
I miss COD Zombies, man.
Kissy, what have you been playing lately?
You guys and your fucking Roblox bullshit.
I
Roblox
love it,
mini
man.
golf. That's what we've been playing, dude.
Yes, sir.
Crispy's got me swearing more now, I've
up
noticed.
until the last year, never played Roblox in my life. When I heard about it, I always heard, "Oh, it's a little kids game. It's so dumb. It's this. It's that." And then Jared and Tyler were both like, "You gotta play Roblox. You got." I'm like, "All right, man. Let me finally download this game.
Nope.
I'm not doing it.
Let me."
Never.
They were like,
No.
finally.
No. You and Bray is what got me on Roblox.
Was it us?
You and Bray
You and
Dollars.
Bray
Bray
got
was
him
the
on
one that
Roblox?
got me on it. Yes, Bray was the one that got me on it.
Bray the child.
Bray is more. Look, Bray is more mature than half the adults I know in my life, present company included.
Okay, so that is your hottest take of the night. All right. So, do we have anything we want to wrap up? Happy 2025 to everybody. This is our first episode of the new year. You got to be here with us as Jared went into the new year. I have about an hour, and Crispy's got like 2 hours after that.
Do we have
So
any?
we still got some time.
I believe we were going to talk about some goals for the new year. Everybody could go around say one personal goal that you have for the new year. I don't like the term resolution because I'm a firm believer in don't wait until the first of the year to start to.
Well, I do have our stuff we're going to release on the Watch View Count channel. So I know you guys sent me those. But I want to talk Scaranoia goals.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give a goal you want for the channel.
Jared, do you want to go first or?
Whoever. I'm fine going first.
Go.
My biggest goal for Scaranoia in 2025 is for it to end up being big enough for us all to be able to go get like passes at a convention and do a meetup. Like, even if it's not doing a video in person together, being able to hang out with y'all, whether it's on camera, off camera, like IRL, would be like the toppest moment of 2025. That's my goal for 2025.
That I
You
could
two have
agree.
met.
That's
You two hung out on the cruise. I met no one in the community. How about met Punjabi?
Crispy and I slept
we
together.
we did.
Hey yo, hey yo.
You know, it wasn't Roblox. Big Gamble got him. I think he got a phone call. So for me personally, I would say one of my biggest goals is I want to start branching out into some additional other content, like maybe some other, shorter form episodes or videos, or just like one-off topics, or maybe even putting it onto TikTok or YouTube Shorts or something, just doing like news as it comes out, because like I'm a big conspiracy guy. I'm big into watching the like news around conspiracies that are coming up, so I think I would like to jump on that and put my takes on the stuff that's in the news, kind of like what you guys do for horror, but just the conspiracy side of that.
Okay. And really, I think the biggest goal overall, and I think I can speak for Chris too, who unfortunately got sucked into the black void tonight.
Yes, he's back again.
What?
He's got no audio.
We can't hear you.
Okay, so we're not. Crispy has been silenced because of his horrible takes. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Crispy's New Year's resolution is to get a mic that works for the next time he joins. And from me, from Jared, from Chris Who Can't Talk, happy 2025. We'll be back with another episode next week. We'll see you then, guys. Bye.